Alright, quick question. If I told you that in the next 10 days you could ride from smooth highways to salt deserts, from India's tallest statue to the westernmost edge of the country, through blue cities and royal forts, would you do it? Because that's exactly what this ride is. So grab a coffee, sit back, and let me walk you through this entire day-by-day motorcycle ride itinerary, with all the mistakes you don't want to make, and all the hacks that will save you time, money, and energy. So let's go! Day 1. Pune to Kevadia. So we start strong. Pune to Kevadia is about 538 kilometers. This is a long day on the saddle. So the rule is simple. Leave early, ride smooth, and don't rush. The route via Nasik and Saputara is actually beautiful. Curves, good tarmac, and a nice rhythm if you're riding relaxed. I started at 6:30 in the morning and was there at my destination at 5 p.m., well before sunset. Here's something most people miss. Book your Statue of Unity tickets before you even reach Kevadia, preferably one day before your ride. Download the Statue of Unity app and book the 8 a.m. slot with the elevator access using the soutickets.in website. Buy the 360 rupees tickets. No need to buy the express tickets. I didn't really experience that kind of crowd even on a Sunday. However, the ticket counter at the statue base opens late, and trust me, you don't want to stand in queues after riding all day. Also, remember, the statue is closed on Monday, so plan your visit accordingly. I had stayed just about 5 kilometers away from Ekta Nagar, which is a new name of Kevadia, right off the highway. Easy in, easy out. So this resort is just about 5 kilometers away from the point from where you can go to the Statue of Unity. The Statue of Unity venue is about 30 minutes away. I purposely booked in a place like this because tomorrow's Statue of Unity and then the next day I have to continue my journey. I have to go all the way to Rann of Kutch, so it makes sense to be near the highway. Day 2. Statue of Unity done right. Now this day can either feel magical or exhausting, so let me save you the pain. Make sure to reach the Shresth Bharat Bhavan parking by 7:30 in the morning. Park the bike there. You are not allowed to take any private vehicles further than this point. Hey guys, so I've arrived at the Shresth Bharat Bhavan. It's before 7:30, it's 7:20, and I hope to catch the free e-bus which will take me all the way to the Statue of Unity. From here, take the free e-bus which takes you inside the complex. Important thing, don't carry big backpacks or any luggage. They don't allow it. I just had a small thigh bag and that was perfect. Once you enter and cross security, you can take a golf cart to the base, explore the museum, which is actually very well done, and then comes the highlight, the elevator ride up to the chest level of the statue. The view from there, unreal. Once you're done, use the free e-bus to explore the jungle safari and the Sambhar Salt Lake Dam viewpoint, among several other attractions which you can find using the SOU app. So guys, apart from the statue here, there are few other places also which you can visit. Like there's a garden, there's a zoo, there's a petting farm, there's a cactus garden, there's a butterfly garden, and then there's the Sambhar Sarovar Dam viewpoint itself. With kids, it's possible to spend an entire day here. However, as I was on a solo ride, I was done in time for breakfast. And now comes the fun biker part. Post lunch, I rode out specifically to get bike plus statue shots. Riding via Gora village to the new Gora bridge, and then ahead of Nana Thavidia, the cactus garden, and the best viewpoint, these are gold for photo shoots. Day 3. Kevadia to Dhordo. Alright, saddle up again. 612 kilometers today all the way to the Rann of Kutch. This ride slowly changes character. You'll feel the landscape open up, dry out, stretch endlessly. Before you reach Dhordo, make sure to tank up. The nearest petrol pump is at least 40 kilometers away, so you always need to be prepared for the next ride. Dhordo is where the White Rann of Kutch experience really begins. Plenty of tent stays, you can negotiate on the spot, but I had pre-booked a camp with meals. In the evening, step into the Rann Utsav tent city. Lights, music, folk performances, food, it's vibrant. And if you're lucky enough to be here on a full moon night, standing on the salt desert under moonlight is something you'll never forget. Day 4, White Run and Beyond. Wake up early, like really early. This is when you ride to the White Run for sunrise. E-buses don't run yet, so bikes are often allowed till the viewpoint. But do not ride into the salt sand. Park smart. Make sure to take lots of pictures as this site offers amazing views. After breakfast, we go off the tourist map. Ride via the route which takes you across Hajipir, Lakhapur, Dayapar and finally No Madh, and you will experience the extended version of the Great White Rann of Kutch. Narrow roads, broken stretches, endless salt deserts stretching all the way as far as the eye can see. Pure riding joy. At No Madh, visit the Ma Ashapura Temple, then ride onwards to Narayan Sarovar and Koteshwar, which is the westernmost edge of India. In the evening, if time allows, plan a ride to Kalodungar and the India Bridge and BSF War Memorial, which are great additions. Remember to fuel up again at Mehrangarh before heading back to your tent. We have a long ride the next day. Day 5, Dhordo to Jodhpur. This was one of my most challenging days on this ride. Leave again by 6 am. You want to hit the stretch near Dholavira at sunrise. They don't call it the road through heaven for nothing. When you reach there early, that is when you will be truly able to experience riding at the golden hour. Very important navigation tip here. Use Maple, not just Google Maps. I was using Google Maps, and even after selecting the motorcycle route, Google was guiding me onto the Jamnagar-Amritsar Expressway, where motorcycles aren't allowed. Also, remember to fuel up as soon as you spot a petrol pump. I skipped the first one I saw and then almost ran out because there weren't any petrol pumps along the route for a very long time. By evening, you'll roll into Jodhpur, and at least in my case, I was happy to be back in civilization after spending 2 days in the vastly rural Kutch region. Day 6, Jodhpur, slow and deep. Today, don't rush. Start with a guided walking tour of the Blue City. It's honestly the best way to find those hidden alleys and frames, and it's totally worth your money. Lunch at a cafe overlooking Turji Ka Jhalra. Then ride to Jaswant for beautiful views of the city. Next up, a journey into the past, Mehrangarh Fort. Take the museum ticket. It costs 200 rupees, but fully worth it. Explore properly, not just the touristy parts, and then relax at one of the cafes inside. An optional activity, but truly epic, the 1.2 kilometers long zipline tour. Remember, fort entry closes around 5 pm, so plan your visit accordingly. Finally, in the evening, enjoy dinner at one of the several rooftop cafes with the fort glowing in the background. Day 7, Jodhpur to Jaipur. Now, you have the option to ride directly to Jaipur. It's just a 5.5 hours ride and you would reach there in no time. However, there are several places on the route which you can visit, so don't rush it. First stop, Banna, the Bullet Baba Temple. If you're a biker, you don't skip this. Next, Set the map for Kishangarh, 227 kilometers away, to visit the marble dumping yard. You'll need a free permit, so visit the Kishangarh Marble Association before you go. And cameras aren't allowed, so hide that GoPro. Have lunch at the food court here, and then after lunch, ride to the Sambhar Salt Lake. There's a diversion where you can ride onto the lake bed. Go only as far as you're comfortable. There's sand here, and I had a bike fully loaded with luggage, so I didn't risk going too far ahead. You can get some amazing photos here. Finally, by evening, you will roll into Jaipur. Day 8. Jaipur. Early or regret it. Jaipur is crowded. The traffic is unruly. Ditch your bike for this one. Leave early and preferably take the e-rickshaws. Best way to move around. Be at the Hawa Mahal right when the entry opens at 9 am. Later, enjoy breakfast at the Wind View or the Tattoo Cafe, bang opposite the Hawa Mahal. There's a cover charge of 200 to 250 rupees adjusted against your final bill. Next up, time to explore the City Palace. Get photos at the Peacock Gate and marvel at the ancient astronomical wonders at the Jantar Mantar complex. Enjoy lunch at one of the cafes or restaurants at City Palace. Later, enjoy street food such as Pyaz Kachori at Lakshmi Mistan Bandar and shopping at Bapu Bazaar. Yes, Jaipur is expensive, but the food is delicious. Finally, end your day by enjoying sunset at the Padao restaurant within Nahargarh Fort. The route is tightly crowded, although there is an alternate route for bikes which you can find using Google Maps. But it's a one-time experience, so don't miss it. Day 9. Amer and Jaipur Beyond. Again, start early. Reach Amer Fort parking by 7 am. Hire a jeep and a guide. Totally worth the money, plus the guide will take you to photo spots and take memorable photos. Make sure to visit places such as the Panna Meena Ka Kund, Biharji Temple, and within Amer Fort, the various palaces. On your return ride, you can view the Jal Mahal across the lake. There's no entry, but you can get great shots from the lake edge. By now, you will have a good idea about the traffic and crowd in Jaipur. So if you feel brave enough, you can plan to visit Birla Mandir and Albert Hall Museum. Again, e-rickshaws make life easy. Day 10. The ride home begins. Jaipur to Indore and then Indore to Pune. 2 long days, but familiar roads. Avoid expressways. Stick to motorcycle-friendly routes via National Highway 60 and Nashik. And just like that, 10 to 12 days, 4,000 kilometers, and one unforgettable ride. If you're planning this ride or even dreaming about it, save this video. Drop your questions in the comments and I'll reply. And if this kind of ride content speaks to you, remember to subscribe, because the road, it always has another story waiting. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.